Hello everyone and welcome to this demonology guide for 7.1. It's been a while, and the reason for that being that I knew there was going to be changes to Warlock in 7.1. So I just waited it out until 7.1 came out, and now when it's here I thought it was the right time to do a guide for demo. So let's just kick it off by going straight to the talents. As you know, there's been a swap with 7.1. Demon Skin and Demonic Circle have switched place. But other than that, everything is the same. And this talent setup right here is for the absolute most DPS you can get. You can go with Demonic Calling in level 15, and it's a couple of thousand DPS loss. But the problem is that if you don't do Shadow Flame perfectly, that is a DPS loss. So if you feel that you have perfect, you can use the Shadow Flame to its most effect, then you should go with Shadow Flame. And I will be going over the rotation in a later part of this video. Level 30 would be improved Dreadstalkers for bigger artifact ability. And 45, I personally like to choose Demonic Circle. You can go Shadow Fury, especially in Mythic Plus, but in raids it's probably going to be Demonic Circle. Level 60, right now Hand of Doom is just a better DPS gain. Unless you're cheesing some bosses, you can cheese some bosses with Soul Harvest, but that's just not in a normal fight, so to say. Level 75, all of these survival, which is really sad that they put them all on the same talent tree or choice. But personally, I like to go with Demon Skin because it's passive damage reduction. It will always help you out. You can always pick Burning Rush too, mostly for speed clears, and in possibly Mythic Plus 2. Dark Pact, I usually take Dark Pact on Ursoc because when he charges you, you can do a big shield and he will basically take no damage. But even Demon Skin is good for the cleave there, or for the exactly for the cleave. Level 90s, you can use all of these, and you should use Supremacy if you're trying to. Actually, no, you just never use Supremacy. It's not worth it. Service, you can use Felguard, so you have another pet that you can steal HP from. But overall, it's less DPS than Synergy. Synergy has an extreme amount of uptime, 50% or so, and it could be more, it could be less, but it's really good because it buffs you and your pet. And level 100, Demon Bolt is the best single target. Dark Glare is the best for sustained 2+3 targets. And Soul Conduit gets better if you go for the complete AoE build, which you go Soul Conduit, Implosion and Soul Harvest. But this is not for complete AoE, it is for single target primarily, and I will obviously talk about AoE as well. But it's Summon Glare, Dark Glare for 2+ targets, and Demon Bolt for single target always. So moving on to the artifact. The perfect route, as far as I'm aware, is basically taking all of the left side. You should avoid Stolen Power until you gotten the Expendables and Doom doubled. So what I went, Breath of Takiel, Summoner's Prowess, Imperator, Open Link, Mob of Shadows, Infernal Furnace, the Expendables, and Doom doubled, and then finally Stolen Power. And right now, because I do not enjoy Affliction, so I'm putting everything into my Demon artifact, even though it's pretty low level to only 24. I'm going for Sharpened Dread Fangs, Soul Skin, and then the survival cooldown, basically, so survival into the Discord for more AoE. And as you know, there's a relic system in here. Do not do like I do. Do what I say, not what I do. I so happen to have 3 relics that buff my Dreadfangs. Don't do that. It's not worth it. What you want is the Infernal Furnace, because that is insane damage if you get 3 relics on it. And it's even, I've seen some numbers out there, but even if the relic gives you +8, +9 eye level, it's still worth having the Infernal Furnace, especially if it's a survival cooldown relic. But if you do not try to get always aim for the Infernal Furnace relic. If not, Doom of Azeroth, and then Summoner of Prowess, and then Dread Fangs. It's like the relics I got, they were so really good. 875 Titan Forged, 865. This I could improve. This one I could improve too. But it so happens that I have 3 for Sharpened Dread Fangs. And when it comes to the legendary or legendaries, I have only gotten 1 so far, and that's the shoulders. The shoulders are in the top 3 spot at least. It's rank 3 right now, I believe, if the logs are, or if the sims are correct. What you wanna go for is the wrist, Cinderized Spite. This item is insanely good, and it buffs your damage by an insane amount. This one is your number 1 legendary and will be that for the remaining of the time, and it even works for Destro and Demo, or Affliction. So this will buff your Doomguard if you're playing Destro, and it will buff your pets, and buffs everything basically by the other 2 specs. So this one is essentially for all 3 specs, even though it drops in Demo. The second one is Kazak's Final Curse. Deals a lot of damage. It's basically what it deals. Some people think that Wolfer's Sigil Superior Summoning and Cinderized Spite is a really good combination. It's not. Plus this finger, it has an internal... No, this does not have internal. This has an internal cooldown 3 minutes. It can only activate every 3 minutes no matter what. So even if you reduce the cooldown of your Doomguard, this item will not work. So do not get this. It's a good ring if you have nothing else, but I do not recommend playing with this and this. And then third ranking is the shoulders. This basically makes your Dreadstalkers a free cast, and it's extremely good for your rotation, and it's really useful overall, I noticed. For the sake of this video, I will not be playing with the shoulders, but the shoulders are really nice. So, moving on to the rotation. Doing the rotation without having weak auras is almost impossible, because there's no external way of tracking your pets. So the weak auras I'm using is ones I found on the interwebs. I will link to the place where I found them. It's from a wonderful guy in the Warlock community called Not, and you can find them on notthoughts.com. I will link that too. But I highly recommend getting this or these weak auras, because it will help your demo rotation by an insane amount. So the opening rotation is quite simple, really. When you pre-pull, you wanna buff your pet. So this guy will, you always wanna keep 100% uptime on your demonic empowerment on all your pets if you can. It's an insane amount of stats it gives to your pet, and it's basically our main damage dealing spell. Oh, I forgot to talk about the stats. The stat priority is haste, crit, and then the rest, essentially, because haste scales immensely well with pets and with the imps. And I recommend that you sim your character every time, so you get the better scaling, or you get the correct stats for you, because it changes depending on the items you have. So these are my current scalings. So int is 10.47, haste is 10.76. As you see here, the even versatility is higher than crit, even though it's not normal, but in my case it is. And I will link you to a video in the video description that explains how you sim your stats. But back to the rotation. You start off by doing demonic empowerment, then you almost immediately do a precast of Demon Bolt into Shadow Flame Doom into popping your Doom Guard, called Red Stalkers, and you have to Shadow Flame again. And you always want to stack up your Shadow Flame to 3. So if you don't stack up to 3, it's a DPS loss and it's not worth picking that talent. When it comes to your artifact ability, you want to do it when you have 6 imps and 2 Dreadstalkers with this build. That's the average, what you're going to get out of it. Sometimes you can get 7, 8 imps, depending on when you cast Hand of Gul'dan. But you should always try to have 6 imps and 2 Dreadstalkers. And if you can, combo it with Doomguard, of course, because that's an extra health bar to suck out and deal damage with. But other than that, 6-2 is the number to keep in mind. And when it comes to Shadow Flame usage, is you always want to stack it up to 3. So that means taking down when it's about to hit, do another one, and you will let go, take it down, and then you have to do it again. So if you hit it perfectly, you will always have 3 stacks of it, and that's what you want to go for. If you fail, you can fail on 2. When you try to get the 3rd one, that happens. Unlucky. You have to, you know, just get better at using it. It took a while. Other than that, Hand of Gul'dan, 4 soul shards all the time. Flat, 4 imps, that's the best you can do. Blasting up with demonic empowerment. So let's just take a look at the rotation, what it could look like from the beginning. So let's do pull 10.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Doomguard, of course. Don't have Doomguard up. At this point, it's just you resuming your normal rotation. Your normal rotation is always keep your pets buffed. If they're not buffed by the demonic empowerment, you lose so much damage. So just please keep it up. Now you see I get 2 Shadow Flame stacks. That means I can start stacking them up. And there we go. And the 3rd stack when it goes off. And 3 stacks. This is essentially what you do with the entire fight. Just keep stacking Shadow Flame, keep summoning demons, keep buffing the demons. That is the entire rotation in a nutshell. So I know some of you will ask about what's BIS, what's not BIS. When it comes to Legion, there's almost no BIS items because of how Titan Forged works and how Mythic Plus works. There is technically a BIS list, but it's so hard reaching that BIS list unless you run Mythic Plus all day, every day. But there's some items that are extremely good I want to aim for. One of them is the Swarming Plague Hive from the first boss in Emerald Nightmare. This item is extremely good, high haste, good equip, deals a lot of damage. And the second one is the wall drop from Mr. Wither Jim. It drops the unstable Arcano Crystal. This item is extremely good. If you have it, use it. It's the BIS. Deals a lot of damage. Adds a lot of stats. Get it if you can. And if you can't get any of those items, just try to get haste stuff, as much haste as possible. I'm using the World Quest for haste. I'm trying to get a better one here, but it's really hard. It's all RNG. I don't like the system, but that's just what we have to deal with. Other than that, I would recommend you buying the Fire Flash Trinket or Finger. Gives you a lot of haste and crit, really good. And you wanna enchant and gem for haste, of course. And for the neck, Mark of the Hidden Sartir. When it comes to potions, Deadly Grace best on single target, deals a lot of damage in short time. For 2+ targets and AoE, it's Prolonged Power, aka the new pot that came in 7.1. Food, Haste, Flask, Intellect. Basically, what it's always been. Glyphs has been removed, so just no, there's no glyph. And, well, that's about what I can remember. And the things I wanted to address. If you've gotten this far in the video, thank you very much. I appreciate you watching and listening to my ramble. And if you have any questions, you can always put them down in the comment section, and I will try to answer them to the best of my capability. Some people will question my who are you and why should we listen to you. Well, my average logs and percentiles on bosses around 90 to 95 percentile. I got a rank 1 on Ursoc the other day for a demo or for Warlock, rank 1 on server. So I dare say that I have some credibility to what I'm doing at least. And I stream over at twitch.tv. I'll put that down in the description too. I usually stream my raids, and you can always pop in there and ask some questions. Other than that, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great night, or evening, or morning. Just have a great time. Bye bye.